Welcome to the channel. Um, we are we are up to Adam Saad, and we're nearly finished. Um, Silenced a few critics this year, Adam Saad, didn't he? And I know that probably not. Oh, who cares really? We're as a football club, we're not really individually in the business of silencing critics. Um, you know, because he did cop a fair bit last year. After playing 22 games for us in his first season, Adam Saad. And I reckon a lot of that was unwarranted when you really think about it. Basket case of a club or a team. Um, the way we defended the ground, defended as a back 6 and 7. We were all at sea really, and he copped a lot. We gave up a lot for him, and he was going to be really, if we weren't able to make some significant steps last year, considering, we had Zach Williams and Adam Saad, and we were starting to recruit some players from other clubs. If we weren't winning games of football, they were always going to come under the spotlight, and he did, Adam Saad. So it was good this year that he was able to somewhat silence those critics. He did anyway, from an individual point of view, because he came an All-Australian. He was outstanding. But we still don't have really the ultimate to show for having some pretty bloody outstanding and unique footballers on our list. If you think about the fact that we didn't play finals football, and you think, we had 3 All-Australians, I think it was. Did we have 3? We had Saad, we had Charlie, we had Cripps. That's pretty impressive for a team that didn't play finals football. I think the pressure is on, really. The pressure is well and truly on for this coaching group to get it right, to get the best out of these individuals. I like that. I like the pressure coming. I really do. But he was outstanding. Individually, he was good. 28 years age, I feel like he's probably, I don't know, feels like he's a little bit younger that in regards to his football. I think he's just hit that point now where he's going to be just super consistent each week. And I think that is great to have him on our list. We're going to get the best out of Adam Saad. 152 games now. It's a fair chunk of footy. Played the 21 games this year. If you look at his game span across his years with the Gold Coast Suns and Essendon, and now us, he's been pretty bloody durable. 16, 10. Then he had a great patch, 22, 22, 22, 17, 22, and 21. Rarely gets injured. And if he's carrying a niggle, Adam Saad, he seems like the type of football he'll push through it. Yeah, I just remember him playing a game last year against the Suns at Metricon Stadium, and there was question marks on whether he'd get up and play, and he did, and he just pushed through. I think it was a knee injury, and he just pushed through, and was outstanding in that game. He's a defender. I think he's found that right balance between defence and attack, and I think that's where a lot of the criticism came. And some of it, as I said, was unwarranted. But yeah, there were question marks on his ability to defend. But he certainly got the balance right this year. Contract status, 225. Great pickup by the Suns. Came through the VFL, was overlooked in drafts, played at Coburg, started as a small forward, went into the midfield, and then Peter German, the coach, played him behind the ball. And that's where he caught the eye of the recruiters. Picked up as a rookie in 2015, pick number 25. If you look at that rookie draft of 2015, I mean, Jack Sinclair, All-Australian, halfback flanker. Jaden Short, All-Australian. Jason Castagna, 3-time premiership player. Braden Pruce, Nick Newman, Mason Cox, and Ivan Soldo, premiership player at the Tigers. That's a fair bloody rookie list from 2015. Traded to Essendon in 2017. for a second round pick. He wanted to come back to Melbourne, went to the Bombers, and then we were able to get him a couple of years back with pick number 8. I think that's been justified now. You know, we're going to get we're going to get 6, 7 really good years out of Adam Saad. Bombers used pick number 8 to pick up key position prospect Zach Reed, who's now he's a defender, has now played the 8 games, but shown a little bit in his 2 years at Tullamarine. Season snapshot: 22 games last year. Was able to replicate that this year because of COVID. Missed the round 3 game against the Hawks. I think he was replaced by Jordan Boyd from memory. He came into the team. So still played the 21 games and selected as the halfback flanker in the 2022 All-Australia team. He's first, and it feels like, he's the type of player that could get multiple All-Australians just because of the way he plays. And he's at that point in his career, as I've mentioned before, where he's now going to be really consistent. And he's bloody eye-catching as well. Statistically elite in intercept possessions, contested possessions, ground ball gets. He's bloody great below his knees. The way he just pounces on the ball, any loose ball, the way he pounces on it, and I think this is why he's so good for us. Look at our score launches. When a lot of our sort of attacks start from him in our back half. We want the ball in his hands. And I think we could even be more damaging with that. I think maybe to some degree, there was a real focus on getting him right defensively this year. And sometimes we did lose a little bit of his offensive flair. So I don't know. It's a fine line. It's a fine line as a defender. But I think the problem is when you have a defender whose main weapons are just attack. They're easily taken out of the game. And I think with Saad, because he can defend and he's shown he is a really bloody good defender, it's a little bit hard to actually then go and take that defender and play a lockdown player on an attacking defender, because he's so strong defensively himself. He's above average in disposals. He's an accumulator. Meters gained, rebound 50s, disposal efficiency excellent at 82%. Score involvements, pressure acts, average in tackles, and average in spoils, and below average in one-on-ones. I think like any defender, sort of smallish defender, they can be isolated at times. But I don't think this year I saw many occasions where he was beaten, from whether it was a small forward or a medium forward. I just remember Adam Saad this year being so good defensively, and rarely being beaten in the contest. I think his year was so consistent, and of such a high caliber right through from round 1 right the way through to the to round 23. But there was, I suppose, a little bit of a dip in form. The trip over to the West, where we had that big win, he only had the 13 touches and was relatively quiet. And I thought he was down the following week. So there was a dip in form. And I just remember saying to myself, because at that time, before the sort of round 17 clash against West Coast and then that round 18 clash against Geelong, I just remember sort of thinking, geez, Saad's form's just come back a little bit. Oh, he wasn't really bad, or he wasn't ordinary. He wasn't at the standard he was. And I just thought, there was sort of question marks then and there. And we really shouldn't be thinking about these individual accolades such as All-Australian honours. But I just remember saying, if he keeps this up, he might struggle to be an All-Australian, because that's a spot that's a bloody hard one to get, the halfback flankers, because there's quite a few good halfback flankers in the competition. So I thought that was probably his down patch, round 17 and 18. I thought he was outstanding in the round 19 clash. So he did hit back the following week against the Giants with a huge game. I just remember that game at Marvel Stadium against the Giants. He was unstoppable. With setting up goals, he took that big mark. His contest work was great. His outside work was unbelievable. He used the ball well. He was just impossible to stop. And I thought the high point from a team perspective, and he was outstanding in the round 15 game against Fremantle at Marvel Stadium, and a great win for the football club. And it just felt like at that stage there, round 15 against the Dockers, we had all our players up and about, or all our best players up and about, that we could have been destined for fairly good things in season 2022, but it wasn't to be. He's got so many strengths, but consistency, closing speed, his ability to kill a contest, whether that's at ground level, his ability to pass an opponent when he's behind, or even kill a contest in the air, to float across, take a nice mark, to spoil. He almost like he preys on his opponents. He just preys on them. He almost teases the opposition to kick to his player. And I love that about him. Disposal, generally really good. I mentioned his contest work has really improved. I think he's just such a mature player as well. We got him right at the best time of his football. And he's a very, very penetrating player, in regards to meters gained, bouncing. Weaknesses, it's hard to find weaknesses with Adam Saad's game. I suppose an improvement for me, where we can get the best out of him, is just to use his strengths a little bit more forward of centre. Sometimes there's a little bit of sideways with Adam Saad. I would like to get the ball a little bit more. If we could structure up a little bit more to get the ball in his hands, in the right parts of the ground, to be a little bit more damaging inside forward 50. And interesting this year, he didn't kick a goal. I think it's the first time in his career that he wasn't able to drift forward and become a real weapon in regards to, getting on the scoreboard. Now, I'm not saying you want your halfback flankers to be goal scorers, but, at times it's a real asset to have those types of players who can to get on the end of it, and kick goals from outside 50. So, I'd just like to see us use him a little bit more. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes he's wasted, with his ball use forward of centre. One word for Adam Saad, just breathtaking. Breathtaking. He just stands out. Yeah, he just stands out. He's a pleasure to watch. And I'll say it again. He's found the balance. He's found the balance of attack and defence. And I think I think that's a sign of maturity and possibly a sign of really good coaching as well. Well, we hope it's a sign of really good coaching. I've given him an 8.5 out of 10. For a fine season. Tell me what you think about Adam Saad. Speak soon.